Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Carlos, but you can call me Kali. In this tutorial, you are going to learn how to create your own security information and event management. In order to do that, we are going to create our virtual machine. Then we are going to configure network security group. The inbound rules, we are going to allow all traffic from any source. Then we are going to create our Log Analytics Workspace. So we are going to capture and record failed login attempts from our virtual machine. Then we are going to configure the Security Centre to enable log collection from the virtual machine. And finally, we are going to set up Azure Sentinel, our SIEM or SIEM, to visually analyze and track login attempts to our virtual machine. So let's take a look at the next scenario. So we have our virtual machine. We have our user, John Doe, who always logs into this machine with his username and password. So now we have this machine, and then someone will try to log on this machine with different credentials. So we are going to have our virtual machine, which is going to be vulnerable for attackers. They will try to different combinations of username and password, and we want to know the failed attempts that they had, because we really want to know who and where is trying to log into our virtual machine. We are going to be using Azure Sentinel to display that information. We're gonna have our map with all the locations where they were trying to access our virtual machine. So this how it's gonna work. Our algorithm, our script to train the model. So first of all, we are going to have data. Then we are going to have our Log Analytics Workspace, which is going to create some tables with that information to train the model. Then we are going to input a query to retrieve all that information. So for instance, we are going to pass the latitude, the longitude, destination, username, among others. Then we're going to create our tables in Log Analytics Workspace, and then we are going to have our query to retrieve our data. So let's get started. So first of all, we have to create our virtual machine. I am going to be creating a Windows 10 Pro machine. However, you are free to create any other image. So first of all, we're going to go to portal.azure.com. It will take you to the home page. In these tutorials, you will see that my machine is going to run a little bit slow, and that's it because I am running on an old machine, so it's going to be a little bit slow. However, on your end, it's going to be perfect. So now that we are here, we can click on this drop menu on the top left. Here we can click virtual machines if you want from here, or you can also search virtual machines. Now we are going to create a new virtual machine, Azure virtual machine. So now we are going to have to create a resource group. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to be calling this resource group a SIEM resource group. So here you're gonna click create new. If you don't have an existing resource group, it's going to be SIEM resource group. Okay. Now the virtual machine name is going to be victim virtual machine. Now here you can select the image. I am going to be using Windows Pro 10. However, if you do not see the image here, you can click see all images, and then you will find all the available images. I am going to be using Windows 10, so I'm going to click select. So here you have different options: 10 Pro, Enterprise, first, second generation. For this lab, I am going to be using Windows 10 Pro version 22H2X64 Gen 2, second generation. So here, Windows Pro. Now here, X64. You can choose the size of your image. I am going to be running with 2 CPUs. I am going to add more memory. So here it's going to be 2 CPUs, 4 RAM memory, the disk, then you have all this information, the temporary storage, the cost per month. So make sure you select the one it fits your budget. I am going to be using this one. If you run or want to create the machine with only one CPU, it's going to run a little bit slow. However, it's going to work perfectly since we are going to be attacking that machine. So here you can create a new username and password. Do not add the default password username. For instance, if you try administrator, it will tell you that you cannot include this reserved word. Or if you try something like ask me, it is possible. However, since many attackers will try to gain access to our machine, they will start with all the default credentials such as admin, administrator, and so on. So you can name it whatever you want. So be aware that if you leave it just the default or generic admin, it's more likely that the attackers can get access to your machine. Now we are going to enter a password. We are going to confirm that password. Now inbound rules, we're going to log selected port RDP 3389. You have to click licensing, otherwise it won't let you create the virtual machine. Now here we're going to click next in the networking part. Now here in networking, we can see that it's creating a virtual network for us. Let's click it here and you can see that the address range is 10.0.0.0/16 and the subnet is 10.0.0.0/24. You can create your own virtual network if you want. If you don't know how to do it, you can check my previous video about Active Directory where I created the virtual network with network security groups. So now for this video, we're going to use the default network and subnet. Here in network security group, we're going to click advanced. We're going to create new. What we're doing right now is we are creating a new network security group rule and new inbound rule. As you can see here, we have this by default. We are going to remove this one, add an inbound rule. So here the source is going to be any, destination per range, it's going to be asterisk, which means any. Now here you can leave the priority that you want. Always it has to be a number between 100 minimum and 4096, so it's going to leave it like 100. Allow all traffic. You don't need to change this, but if you want, you can change it. So, okay, we have successfully created a new inbound rule to allow all the traffic. Now we are going to click next. You're gonna click next, or review and create. Now let's see our information about our virtual machine. So here we have the pricing. This is going to be for our machine. I think the pricing runs for hour in this case. So now you have the resource group. You have the virtual machine name, the victim, virtual machine, the region, the image, the size, and all the information that we created. So here's the networking, our subnet, our network security group, which was automatically created. Now we are going to click on create virtual machine. So we have successfully created a virtual machine. Now it's time to create Log Analytics Workspace. So here you're going to search for Log Analytics Workspace. That's perfect. Here, create resource group. We're going to select our existing resource group, the one that we created in the previous step. Here you can name it whatever you want. I am going to name it virtual machine logs. Review and create. So let's take a look at this information. Okay, we have successfully created our virtual machine. Let me see here. I cannot add this name, so let me just name it vmlog. That's perfect because I already used this name vmlog, so I'm going to leave it like vmlog from virtual machine logs. Okay, so now we are creating our workspace. Okay, so it's going to be 8. So in this Log Analytics Workspace, we are going to pass our data to train the model that will filter our logs attempt, failure log attempts. Okay, so now we successfully created the Log Analytics Workspace. It's time to enable the ability to capture the record failed log attempts from our virtual machine. So now we are going to go to Security Center. You're gonna search Security Center. If you don't see it here as I do, you can go here, Marketplace to Azure Security Centre, or you can come here to the drop down menu on the left top. Then you can click create a resource, and here you're going to type again Security Center. We're going to search for Security Center. Here you can see Azure Security Centre. We are going to click on create. Now we are creating our security group. We are going to enable get the information from the logs. So this is not the full page. We have to wait to see here our log analytics. There we go. Now we are going to open Defender for Cloud. Here we are going to scroll down on your left menu. You can see environment settings. We're gonna click here. Then we are going to select our Log Analytics Workspace. We're gonna go to the vendor plans. Here we are going to turn servers on. We are going to leave the remaining services off. We're gonna click save. So now we are going to use the servers. Make sure that you take a look at the pricing. Now we are gonna go to data collection. Here we are going to enable all events. So we click all events, then we save. Okay, it has been successfully saved. That's perfect. We can go back to the home page. Now we are going to connect our virtual machine to Log Analytics. Here we are going to open Log Analytics, or you're going to search Log Analytics. If you don't see it on the home page, you're going to click here. You're going to open it. Now you're going to scroll down, virtual machines. It says to deprecated. However, we can still connect through this process. So now back to virtual machine. We are going to leave there, make the connection. It's time to create our Azure Sentinel, our SIEM or SIEM. You can always open a new tab, or you can go here and type Azure Sentinel. Maybe you won't find it, but if you see, you're going to select Azure Sentinel. However, if you don't see it, you're going to type Microsoft Sentinel, and there we go. It's exactly the same, just with a different name. So here we're going to click on create. We are going to select our Log Analytics Workspace. So if you want, you can click here, create a new, but we already have an existing one. We are not going to be doing that. We are going to select our existing Log Analytics Workspace. We're going to click add, and now this will take a few seconds. We are going to leave it here since it's adding our workspace to Azure Sentinel. There we go. So now we can go back to our virtual machine. It's time to turn off the firewall. So we are going to go to virtual machines. We're going to select the one that we created. We are going to copy the public IP address, if you can see it here. You are going to copy that address. You're going to open remote desktop connection. You're gonna paste the IP address, the public IP address, and there we go. So here you can click more choices if you want, if you don't see the full page. So here, then you're going to enter the credential that you use to create your virtual machine. In my case, it's going to be JDO. So before I start logging to this machine, I am going to fail to log in twice. So I'm going to try hacker one and random password, then okay. So now we see we're trying to connect to this machine 20.168.13.15, and it says the log on attempt failed. Now we're going to try a second time. Hacker 2, any password, okay. Now we're gonna fail for a second time. There we go. It's time to log in with our credentials, JDO, and the password. So now we're gonna click yes. It's going to take a few seconds since it's the first time that we are running this virtual machine. So what we are going to do now is we are going to turn off the Windows Defender. We are going to make this machine vulnerable so that anyone can try to log on. So now we are gonna click no. We are going to say to all these features, these settings, we're gonna say no. Okay, that's perfect. And there we go. This is our virtual machine. We're gonna click yes. And there we go. So now we are going to go to event viewer. You're going to type event viewer. As I told you, this machine will run a little bit slow. However, on your side, it should be running perfect. Now we're gonna go event viewer, Windows Log, security. As you can see here, it's still loading. However, we can see the number of events, 823 events. In this section, we are going to see all the log on items. As you can see here, we have our success log on attempt. However, if we start scrolling down, we are going to notice that we have two logon failures. Then you scroll down, you can go scroll down, it will take a little bit of time. So I am going to filter, going to here, event ID 4625, sorry, it's 4625, okay. And now here we can see our failure attempts. Now let's open. Let me make it a little bit bigger, this section, so that we can see all the information. So that here on this event viewer, it will display all the information about who was trying to connect to our machine and the IP address. For instance, here we can also see the name that they were trying, the username. So here is hacker2, as you can see. So we know someone was trying to log on to this virtual machine with the username hacker2. So here we see the failure reason and no username or bad password. So here we can see the workstation name, this is your machine or the attacker machine's name. This is the IP address. So what you usually do is you are going to copy this IP address. Let me minimize my virtual machine. Then you are going to copy and paste on your browser to see the geolocation about this IP address, to see where they attacking from. So now let's see, it's taking a little bit of time. Let me see if I can type IP geolocation, which we are going to be using this in a while. We are going to use this API to gather all our information. As you can see here, this is the same information that you can find on your virtual machine. Let me show it to you. So here is the information that I told you. So now you can see the IP address, the resource network address. You see this comes on JSON format. Let me close this and minimize our machine. Okay, so now we have this IP geolocation. We are going to gather all this information. We are going to use this to create our model. So now that we have successfully created our virtual machine, it's time to turn off the Windows Defender's firewall. This will make our machine vulnerable. So make sure that you turn off the Windows Defender on your virtual machine and that you are not using your local machine. So here you're going to type Windows Defender. Here you have two options, the one that it says control panel and the one that says with advanced security. We are going to select the one with advanced security. That's one option to access to this Windows Defender, or you can come here and you can type FS. I think it should be working right now. If we type, let me see. Now we are here. We are going to enable the firewall. Here you can come here and wf.msc. Okay, and then you're going to open. It's exactly the same Windows Defender firewall with advanced security. Here you're gonna click Windows Defender firewall property, and we are going to turn off for all profiles the main profile. We're going to select off, public profile off, and that's it. So now you can see that our firewall is up. We're gonna click apply. Okay, then we have this alert that we should turn on Windows Firewall. However, we are making this machine vulnerable so that anyone can access to this machine. We'll try to access this machine, sorry. It's discoverable on the internet. Now it's time to execute our script to retrieve the log information from the event viewer. So now let's open Microsoft Explorer. We have to install it since it's the first time that we are running this machine. Confirm and continue. Continue without this data. Let's confirm and start browsing. So there we go. So here on your browser, you are going to search this GitHub repository. I'm going to leave the link in the description. So this is my repository where you can find the script. So you're gonna type this on your browser, or I said you can copy the link from the description. Okay, so here is the script. You are going to copy this. I'm going to talk about what's going on here in why. So once you have copied that script, you are going to open on your virtual machine PowerShell ISE. Okay, so you're going to open Windows PowerShell ISE. You are now going to open the other PowerShell. Here, click New Script. We are going to paste the code. And this code, what it's doing, so first of all, we have to get the IP key from ipgeolocation.com. We're going to have to replace it here. But let's see what this script is actually doing. So here, first of all, we can see that it's going to create a failed RDP log file. It will store this file in this path program data. We are going to find this failed RDP. If we go right now to this folder, you will see that we don't have that failed RDP folder right now. So you can do that. Sorry about that. Copy this. You can copy or type the name. Copy right now. Okay, so now as you can see, we are in program data, Windows program data. If you want to go back, you're gonna compare this text PC, Windows, and you don't see here program data. So you're gonna click Preview. Now you are going to open these hidden items one more time. You have to view. Gonna click these hidden items, and it will display all the items in your folder. So now you see that we don't have any failed RDP.log. So the code, it's going to create that file for us this time. We have some data, some sample data. This function, what it's doing, it's providing some data that it's going to serve to train our model. So here you can see that, let's say someone, an attacker, was trying to log on from this location, then you have a second attack from this other location, a third attack, and so on. So this is the information that we are going to use to train the model. And here, so basically what we are doing is creating the file. If we have the file, the log C program slash the name of the file, fail RTP.log. If this is equal false, which means we don't have, you're going to create that file. Then it's going to loop in our event viewer logs, and it's going to gather all that the information that I mentioned before. What it's going to do is open this event viewer. This is what the code is doing. Literally goes to event viewer, then goes to Windows logs, then clicks on security. It reviews this information. It checks if it's success or fail. So here it's okay, success, no, let's jump to the next one. Success or fail, no, let's jump. So it's doing this process line by line. So it creates a loop in this event viewer. So it's going to gather all the information. So once it finds the log failure, it will retrieve that information. So it comes here, it's going to open the audit failure. It's going to come here, take this reserved network address. It's going to take this the name, the login attempt, the destination, the source, and so on. Okay, so now we are going to run this script. As you can see here, right now it's gathering that information. As you can see, it's not working right now. So you can see I'm getting this error. The remote server returned an error for one unauthorized, and that's it because we haven't changed or updated the IP key. So the next step is to visit ipgeolocation.io. Sorry. So I'm going to open my browser on my local machine. I am going to come here to IP geolocation, then sign in or sign up. So you're going to be displayed this screen. You're going to copy this key. Do not share your keys or password. I am doing this for educational purposes only, but never share your keys or passwords. Okay, so I just copied this key. I am going to open the remote desktop, our virtual machine. So here I am going to paste. First of all, let me stop this. Let me check if it's created the file. So now we're going to open this. You can use the Windows key and R, Windows key plus R, and we'll display it for you. So it has created our file. We are going to remove this one. We're going to click delete. That's perfect. Okay, now we are going to run the script again with our key. That's perfectly fine. So now you see that we are running the script. We don't get any kind of error. Here we see the two log on attempts, hacker1 and hacker2. We have source host, which is the attacker IP address, and here we have the destination host, which is our machine, latitude, longitude, state, country, timestamp. So now we are going to use this information to create our Log Analytics Workspace. We are going to train our model. So the next step is to create custom log in Log Analytics Workspace. So we are gonna go back to our portal, Azure portal. I can close this now. Okay, now home, Log Analytics Workspace. I am going to select my Log Analytics Workspace. here we are going to create our table. Do you remember that we have in this section this table? This is what we are doing right now. We are going to pass our data, then we are going to create the table, then we are going to query to retrieve that information. Okay, so now that you are here in tables, you're going to create new custom log. We are going to be using MA based. Select the sample log. As you remember, we have the fail RDP log file in our virtual machine. So what we are going to do, we are going to copy that file to our local machine. Okay, this is perfectly fine. Let's save it. Let's log export, or you can name it whatever you want. So now you can come here, Windows click plus R, program data, fail RDP. Let's open this file. As you can see, this is our data, our simple data that it's in our code. We're going to use this data to train the model. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to close. I am going to minimize the virtual machine. We are going to open no path on our local machine. I am going to paste, and I'm going to name it let me save on the desktop. Let me save it as failed log dot log. I think that's the name that we have in our file. Let me see. Failed RDP. That's the name, failed RDP. So let me is it here? Failed RDP. Okay, so that's perfect. Let me see one more time. Failed RDP, correct. Or you can name it whatever you want actually. Well, I will leave it like failed RDP since it's the name that we created in our script. If you take a look at the script, here we are creating this variable called log file name. This is the name of our log file. So now we're gonna come here, sample log, fail RDP. I don't know why it says txt. Let me change the name. Let me open one more time. No path. Here, let me copy again. Okay. Perfect. Here, to save this, failed RDP dot log. Save. Let's go to the portal. Here we have failed RDP. That's perfect. Next, this is our data. We're going to leave it as new line. Here, as you can see, it's our simple data. Here we're going to select Windows. The path is going to be the one that we find in our virtual machine. It's this one right here. This is the path. It's going to be fail.rdp log. This is the file, so you are going to copy this and you are going to paste it on this section. Okay, so now that's perfect. we are going to click next. Custom log name, this is going to be the name for our table. So I am gonna go with fail RDP. As you can see, it would add the underscore SCL, sorry. So I will leave it as fail underscore RDP. It's going to be underscore CL, okay? Next. So now we are going to click create. Now it's creating our logs. Let me see if we added our virtual machine. And click here. Yes, we have connected our virtual machine. So now it's creating our logs. Let me see one more time. Let's go to table. So we can see that it was successfully created a custom log. You can see here custom log creation succeed. Okay, so now it's time to go to our Sentinel. We are gonna go to Azure Sentinel and we're going to set up the map. So here you can type Azure Sentinel. If you don't see Azure Sentinel, it's fine. You can come here to Marketplace if you want, or you can also come here to this drop down menu on the top left, create a resource, and here we're gonna type Microsoft Sentinel. As you can see here, we are in the marketplace. Sorry, I misspelled. Okay, Microsoft Sentinel. There we go. So here we have these Sentinel labs. We have all this information. So if you type Azure Sentinel, you won't find it, but if you type Microsoft Sentinel, you are gonna find it. You're gonna click here. And just let me see 1 second. Okay. Yes, we are going to back to the top screen. So now if you come to our log analytics, first of all, let me show you something. Let's see, let's take a look at the logs. Let me close this. So here you can see we have a new query. If we type right now our table, we won't get any kind of information since it's right now gathering that information from the logon attempts. So as you can see, we are not gonna get this kind of information. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes since we created our Log Analytics Workspace and our custom logs. So now let's try to run our query one more time and see if it's already displaying this information. As you can see, we have received so many attacks during this time. Let's take a look at our virtual machine. So this is the previous wrong code that they were running. But here you can see, let me scroll. So here you can see different attacks that we have suffered in our machine, and we are still receiving more attacks with this username and bits. This source from Tunisia. Let's see our portal. So now what we are going to do is we are going to filter this data right here. As you can see, it's our raw data. What you can do is you can come here and then you can first of all add the query to retrieve the raw data. But what we are going to do now is we are going to retrieve the data. So here is my table name, fail RDPCL in my case, extend, and then we are going to use all the variables that we have in our script or in our raw data. As you can see here, you have latitude, longitude, destination host, username, source host, host state, and so on. So what we are doing here is okay, we are going to extract these values where these are not empty or that it doesn't say sample hold. So we are gonna click run. Now we can see that it says the table operator failed to resolve the expression named username. Let's take a look at this, why we are getting this error. So it's basically saying that we have an error here. See, extend username is correct. Okay, let's run it one more time. So now it's working, as you can see here. Let me this a little bit up. Now you can see that many attackers have been trying to access our virtual machine. You can also search. Do you remember the first logon attempt that we tried with HackerOne? You can actually search for that attack. Let's see, where is it? Okay, so now here we have the information. These were our first two attempts, if you remember, from Tokyo. So here we have HackerOne, Hacker2, but now we have thousands of attempts. Do you remember when we created the virtual machine not to include the default username and password? This is why they are always going to try with default credentials first. Here you have admin, administrator, admin, and you're gonna find all the possible combinations with that. Even in different languages, they will try the default credentials first. Now that we already have this information that we can see our attack, it's time to set up our Sentinel, Azure Sentinel, our security and information manager. So this is what we are going to do now. Let me save this presentation mode. Okay, so now it's time to set up our map in Sentinel. We're going to go to the portal. We are going to search for Microsoft Sentinel. Yes, you are gonna click here. Now we are going to click on workbooks. Here you can see the logs too. These are the workbooks. We are going to be creating a new workbook. So click new workbook. Now you can see that we have some information here. Welcome to your new workbook. Here we have some default widgets. We are going to delete all these widgets and then we are going to create our map. Well, I'm not sure. If it has to be removed, yes. Here, remove, yes. Okay, so now add. We are gonna click add query. We are going to paste the query from the Log Analytics Workspace. Here we are going to see that the data source comes from VM logs. Visualization, here we are going to select map. The medium, it's going to be the size, sorry, it's going to be full. Then we are going to run the query. So now we are going to set up the settings for our map. So here it's fine, longitude, event count, that's fine, latitude, longitude. Make sure you have this information correctly. So now we also have event count, metric label. We can use label. That's why we have this metric. Now apply and save. Apply. Let me see this one. Let me save and close. So now we can see our attackers, their location. Here we also have the IP address. These are the first 3 logon attempts that we had. And here are our attackers logon attempts. So that's it for this video.